Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It'd be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. So let's talk about Empire. Season 4, Episode 9. We start off with Lucius. He's in the studio. He's on the piano, but he has labeled the piano with colors and stuff because he only can tell music through colors, through paint, through water paint. And he's in the studio with Jamal and Warren. And basically, he's trying to teach Jamal how to, lay down his music, but only with the color. And Lucius is having a hard time doing that, having everybody else, get onto the flow of what he needs to do. And only way that he can produce music is through paint, through colors and different like rhythms that he uses. I'm like, okay, Lucius. And so Warren is there. Warren is like, oh yeah, this is pretty dope. So everything so far looks so good. So then we see, Angelo, he's at the park. He's chilling with Anika. He got the baby Bella. And they just living lovely. Anika's doing her thing. She done took that baby Bella. And so then we get to Jamal. He's spying on him. It looks like, not Jamal, it looks like Hakeem was going to go over there and say something to Anika, try to get his baby back. But guess who was watching him thirsty? So that means Lucius has something going on, or Cookie, where they're keeping an eye on Hakeem. So they stop Hakeem and Thirsty stops Hakeem and take him away and be like, we better go before Popo sees us and they take us away because, two black men out here at this park watching white kids, we go to jail. I was like, no, sir. And so then, we get to Eddie Barker. Eddie, he's Lucius' friend. Something about Eddie doesn't rub me the right way, even though I like him as a person and as an actor. But I don't know if he has a vendetta with, Lucius lying, or maybe because he didn't get as big as Lucius or have a big company as Lucius, or they were supposed to be big like this together and run Empire together. I don't know. Or is he working along with the Dubois family? Is he working with Diane? It seems like he might know Diane because he's classy, he's wealthy, his kids go to, Ivy League university, his grandkids too as well. So I'm thinking that he has something, him and Miss Dubois, Miss Diane, got something going on because, he's working, Tori so hard. He's working the producers so hard. He's working, Calvin, he's working Becky, he's working Portia and Tori, and they're going on and on and on, and he won't give them a break. And he's acting, like, hey, we got to get this done. Like, we can't, there's no playing around with this. We got to do this. And he won't give them a break, and he's working them like fire horses. He's working them. He won't give them breaks. They're working on weekends and all this other stuff, and he ain't trying to hear none of the excuses or whatever. Then Tori finally said, I need to take a break. He's like 15 minutes, and now they're talking about a strike. They want to strike. And so Cookie's not paying attention to the situation, nor is Andre, because Andre really can't pay attention because if you remember, Andre is taking medication. He's taking an extra dose of medication that is really not supposed to be prescribed to him because his doctor is Diane Dubois' friend. So he tripled his dose amount, so he's not really thinking too clearly at all. And he's sluggish because of the medication. And so then we move on to Lucius. He goes to see Anika at her house. He was like, can I come in? I'll acting polite. He was like, you know what, I got most of my memory back, but I just wanted to tell you something. I know that's one thing you did want. You wanted your daughter to be an heir of my empire. That's what you really wanted. I thought he was going to bring some information about her killing Andre's wife and their son, because she was pregnant. So I thought he was going to have that information. But he tells Anika that, hey, listen, if you give us 50-50 custody, if you give, Hakeem 50-50 custody, I will make sure that Bella is an heir and she'd be the richest little girl in the world. But I don't know if Anika is going to fall for it. Is Anika going to take it? Because she knows the Lions. And right now she's in bed with the Dubois family. And basically they got her daughter back. And she's living lovely. So she goes, yeah, maybe. Let me think about it. And they set up to have a family visit for good faith. And we know how that plays out. It was shiesty. So, Lucius go back to the studio and to Empire to talk to Cookie to tell Cookie that everything is taken care of. Portia's trying to run the Cookie to let her know that, Calvin wants to strike, the workers want to strike. Eddie is running the show. He's running the ship into a hole and all this other stuff. And Cookie was like, can't you see I'm talking to Lucius? Go somewhere, girlfriend. Go somewhere. So it doesn't get taken care of. And so Lucius tells, Cookie that, he took care of the situation, the problem with, Anika. So we'll see what happens. And then I'm just like, yo, how come they ain't paying attention to their business? Like, what's going on? It's like, why is, Eddie's in there doing everything? If Lucia's back, he should be there watching Eddie. Like, it's like so many people have their hand in the empire that they let come in and give them opportunities. I'm like, yo. So anyways, they tell them, so finally Cookie finds out that they want to strike or whatever, and Eddie's like, whatever, let them strike, let them go, who cares? It's like, you know why he says that? Because it's not his business. It's not his business at all. So he don't care. So it ain't no sweat off of his chest. And basically he feels like they should work hard. And you got Lucius, he's stuck up in the studio trying to learn music and stuff like that. So he's on a whole nother level. Hakeem is too busy worried about, getting Bella. Andre's too busy, trying to have sex with this detective Pamela Rose, and then on top of that he's being doped up as well. So it's just like, it's like they're not even paying attention, that they underestimate Mrs. Dubois. They act like she ain't gonna be doing it. They don't act like these problems that are having, things are going on that they don't even coincide or put it together that maybe Miss Dubois will have something to do with it. So it is what it is. And so Eddie was like, yo, whatever, let them strike. It's like, yo, Cookie, how are you gonna let this happen? So they're getting ready to strike or whatever, and Calvin was like, yo, listen, I'll push this button, we go on strike. And then Eddie takes the phone from Calvin, and he pushes the button himself, and so they all go on strike. And Portia gives a heartwarming speech to Cookie to let her know that, hey, listen, you always call me stupid, you make me feel like I'm less than anything, and all this other stuff, and we've been working over weekends, we've been doing this, we've been doing that, all the woe is me. So they end up striking out. They're going strike. And so who shows up while they're striking, right? None other than Shine. Shine shows up, and he was like, and Cookie was like, yo, you own a percentage of this company, you're on the board. He was like, my mama was a lunch lady, and I'm union raised and union born. And so he joins the strike. He's like striking. Cookie's looking at him like, you know what? You born stupid. I was like, yo. Oh, goodness. And so then, but before that happens, Andre, he gets news that, some detective was involved in the shooting. It says Pamela Rose. So he runs out. He tries to get in contact with her. He finally gets in contact with her, and she let him know that she was involved in the shooting. She killed this man, but she planted a gun on him, and it wasn't just. So she's basically saying that she committed a crime and she's going to get away with it. And she says, see, Andre, I'm telling you the truth about me. And if I didn't trust you, I wouldn't tell you something. And I think she said, so now do you trust me? And so I think that conversation is going to lead to, so tell me something about yourself. Then he's going to say something about the empire. He's going to say something about his father, maybe his father blowing up, or Juliana, or somebody, and she's going to use that information to book him. Or she works with Mrs. Dubois. She's probably on Mrs. Dubois payroll, because maybe that shooting incident was set up, because we know Miss Dubois has media, has newspapers, have all types of people that can cover, the lines, like she did before when they let the story loose about Lucius, actually, losing his mind and not having all his senses there. So we know, and plus her son used to be the mayor, so they still have friends. They're doing business with, because they have the doc. They have so many different people, bankers. So it's like they're not considering anybody that knew that comes in their circle if they possibly have been compromised. It's just like they're running around with their head cut off. They're too busy and nothing. And so, Lucius, he's at a classroom trying to teach this orchestra how to learn how to learn his music through paint or whatever. And all of a sudden, everybody walks out and was like, we on strike, food. Like, Empire employs a lot of people. Let me tell you, they employ a lot of people. It's no joke. They are employing the max. And so Eddie really doesn't care, whatever. So Eddie, he sees Cookie, and he tells Cookie that, hey, listen, we can get some replacements. And she was like, you mean some scabs? I was like, I can't believe Cookie said scabs. And she was like, nah, let me handle this. She was like, you know what? You got a penis. And you guys running around here acting like you know what's going on. You know what? Everybody meet me up in the boardroom in a few minutes. We're going to take care of business, because Cookie's back, because she realized that she's slacking. Everybody's slacking. And so, but we also get, Warren is trying to get, Jamal to do a threesome at the club. He's been trying to get Jamal to do a threesome. And I knew that threesome was going to be able to take photos and embarrass Jamal in the media. But it so happened it didn't happen. Even Warren showed up with a guy in the apartment. So it didn't go down. It didn't happen. Warren says, no matter what you hear about me, Jamal, I love you. I really do, because, Jamal was confessing his love to Warren, so they asked the little guy that they had, is said was so cute, to leave the apartment or whatever. And so now, but Jamal is not heeding to anything with Warren. He's just going into a blind, especially with that little interaction with Warren and Angelo, and then also how his father's story about his brain. About having amnesia, break. It's just like Jamal's in La La Land. So anyway, Cookie calls the meeting. Once she calls the meeting, she has everybody in. She has Portia, she has, Calvin, she has Lucius, some of the board members, the union people, and she points out all the wonderful things that Empire done for each and every one of these individuals. And so now the strike is off. And she also tells Portia that she's sorry. She thinks she's real smart, and if she was dumb, she wouldn't have hired you, or you wouldn't be around her. Of course not. Cookie ain't gonna have no dumb person around her. Portia handles her business, so everything's all set. They're calling off the strike. And Cookie was like, now tell your boyfriend to call off the strike. Portia's with Calvin. Calvin looked like he's from Tony, the group. So he's strictly the 90s. So they call off, all that strike. So everything's back to normal. Not really back to normal. And so then the family goes to meet up with, because Lucius made this deal with Anika to the family meet, Bella. So they go to the restaurant to go meet Bella. But guess who's sitting there? Mrs. Diane Dubois, and none other than Warren. And Warren is being set up because, Angelo dropped a dime on him and let his mother know that, Angelo's in love with Jamal. And so in that situation, Lucius is like, what's going on here? And then Miss Diane Dubois looked at Cookie, tell him what's up, tell him what's going on. This is a setup. So you could tell Lucius not fully together. And then so then Jamal was like, what are you doing here, Warren? What are you doing here? But before then, all of them was entering this restaurant. Andre, Jamal was bragging about their booze and all this other stuff. But Cookie said she didn't like Warren, and she had a good reason not to. And so then, Warren and Jamal goes back and forth. I was like, oh, you play me. He was like, Jamal, I love you. I wanted to tell you or whatever. But before then, Miss Diane Dubois said to Warren that I knew you was going to fall in love with him. So I got prepared. So I'm going to use Anika. But I think she's using more than Anika, because she has Andre's doctor. I think the detective is on her payroll. And also Pamela Rose, the detective, is on her payroll. So, with that situation, there was like, Lucius, get him. And it was like, damn, you guys are younger than Lucius. You can't fight. Hakeem, you can't fight. Andre, you can't fight. Jamal, you can't fight. Why? And your father got a prosthetic leg, and he's just coming out of this coma barely, and you want him to beat up Warren. You see how big Warren is? Warren is huge. He's a giant. So anyways, Jamal starts smashing him and fighting him and beat him up. There's cameras, there's pictures. So this is going to be more negative publicity that's going to be used against the Lucius Lyon family, the Empire family, because it's going to hit the media. And right now, Jamal is filing an appeal process to appeal the decision of Anika getting, full custody. So this is going to hurt. You got Cookie yelling. They're going to look like gang members, a violent family. So it's a bad situation. And it's like they never think sometimes, like they react so quick. Like if they knew that was a setup, then you walk away, but they didn't. So Anika is dirty. A dirty. And then so Cookie's leaving. Was like, we coming for you. You better watch your back. We're coming for you. She was like, I've been coming for you guys. I've been after you guys. So what's up? Peace. I'm out. One love. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peoples.